Alright, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do part 2 here of the kitchen renovation here, which will be foundation and some framing. So we're getting set up here to dig the footers and get rid of some of the old soil and get it hauled out of here. Got dark on us, so we had to get back at it the following day. Here we are getting set back up to finish out the footers. Got my grade set. And here we go. I'm just piling the dirt there behind us, coming out 20 feet, and then we're going to have 15 feet wide. Just getting all that opened up, and then I'll jump on the skid steer here and get that extra dirt moved out of the way so that that's cleared out. And got my string line put back up, and continue digging that footer out of. I had him dig a little shelf here on the inside so that the guys laying the block are going to have something to stand and work off of instead of being so far up. So we got that thing finished up right there before it got dark on us. We got a little bit of rain, but we got concrete coming the next morning, so I had to go ahead and get the rebar in the footer. So got all my grade shot, set my grade stakes, and then go around put my 1/2-inch rebar in there, getting it all tied up. Then the following morning, the concrete was poured. So got all that in place. The block is laid out, ready to go as well. And then we got a bunch of rain, so that delayed the project just a little bit. Had to get the footer pumped off there, and then block layer, got everything laid up there in about 4 hours or so. So here's just some shots of the bathroom there where we're going to be tying in some plumbing here later. So I went through and put a 2-inch styrofoam board on the inside of the wall, and then I started backfilling everything with the skid steer. Got all my gravel in place and got it smoothed out. I wanted to add a little bit of gravel around where this patio is going to be. We're going to pour some more concrete there. So I got the gravel down about 12 inches. And now we're getting ready for some plumbing. Got a vapor barrier laid out there because it's going to rain. Now I'm going through and getting all of the drain lines dug in, and then I'm going to have some supply lines, and I'm going to explain here in just a minute or so on video on what's what. So I'm getting everything prepped for my inspection. I've got an inspection coming the following day on all of the plumbing, and that way we can get the concrete poured for the slab. Alright, so pretty much getting all that finished up. Here's some pictures of it prior to the inspection. The hardest part of this was getting the new plumbing tied into the old plumbing, and I had to do that by knocking out a little section of our block right here and putting the line underneath to tie into the bathroom. Alright, so I had to get the 2-inch drain line from the kitchen to the bathroom area to tie in. And here's the pipe stubbed through. And I just barely had enough room underneath here. You can see it right here. But right there it is. At the other end is where it comes through the block. So now I've got 2 points that I can put my laser on and verify that I got good fall. And then once I verify that, I'll glue it all up. So got pretty lucky. It just slid right through here. Had to cut a notch out of this board right here so that I had room, and I just laid the piece I cut out
right here just to hold my pipe up. So next step, I'm gonna set my laser up and check the grade. All right, so I went out back and shot my grade on my drain at the kitchen sink. There's my laser. And I just want to see how much fall that I have between there and here. We can see the pipe down there with the black or the duct tape on it. And right there is what, 5 or 6 inches, if not more. So that's the amount of fall that I have between the top of that pipe to the kitchen area that's draining this way. So got good fall. Everything should drain just fine. All right, here's a quick overview of the plumbing. We got our main line coming in here 3/4, and I got 1/2 inch hot and cold. Water heater's gonna set here. We got a drain with a P-trap that runs down here. It's a Y or a T, whatever you want to call it. Runs back into the bathroom, and then we continue on here right up to the kitchen sink drain, and that's where my hot and cold are at. And they run straight line over there to it. So everything is done and ready for a plumbing inspection.
All right, we're also going to be replacing the sewer line. You saw in the bathroom there where I had to get the 2-inch drain line connected in the plumbing. There's no crawl space underneath this house, so basically what ended up happening is we'll have to replace all of the plumbing. Had the old clay tile for the sewer line here, so we're excavating it out. It comes out about probably a quarter way from our perspective down to where it comes out, but I wanted to go ahead and remove all the soil along the edge of the house so that I could go ahead and get that waterproofed. So that's what we're doing now.
All right, all the sewer line is done and backfilled all the way up the side of the house. Got the temporary pole back in place. Back grading is done. See my clean out. Little leftover stone, we'll leave that until we're done. Now I've got everything prepped, ready 100% for concrete. They're going to come pour that tomorrow. And the rest of the dirt is gone out of here, and that's also back graded. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have a slab of concrete on this. It'll go up to the blue there in the background up against the house. And then that will allow me to continue the flooring just straight on through. And then we'll remove that wall to the right, all this right here. I'll remove that.
All right, the following day, the concrete guys showed up and they poured the slab here. And you can see the finished product at this point. It's getting everything set up now and ready so that we can start framing. So later on that evening, started my bottom plates. So you got your seal, and then you got a treated, in my case, 2x4. Depending on what you're doing, you could have a treated 2x6. So I went ahead and got those plates down and got my anchor bolts secured. Double checked my measurement to make sure that we're still square. And then we're expecting some rain, so I went ahead and got everything tarped up. So here's the following evening. Went ahead and got my slab squeegeed off and getting everything set up here so we can start putting the walls up. All right, and the framing begins. We're laying out the top and bottom plate off of the treated sill plate that we've got in place. And we actually went ahead and put a double bottom plate on this for 2 reasons. One, it made it easy for standing the wall up and getting everything secured, but 2, over in that left-hand corner up against the existing house, in order for the roof line to match up where it needed to be, I needed another 1.5 inches. So that worked out perfect by having that double bottom plate. All right, so we're continuing on the 2 inside walls. We're going to focus on the back one first. So we're just getting all the dimensions laid out and getting our top and bottom plates cut to length. And now we're going to start connecting up our 2x4 16-inch on center and getting that wall stood up in place as well. Now I had to build the second wall in here because the inside of that room has a line through there that needs to be maintained from the dining room in the left hand side. So we need that to be straight through. In order to do that, that's what that required. So here we are on the other side here. We're going to go ahead and get that wall stood up as well. And then right about the end of where that's at, we're going to have a pretty good sized beam in place. So I'm building headers right now. This will be the following day. Got a door going out to the back patio right here. And then we're going to be putting up that larger header after I do the window. Alright, so I'm finishing the framing up on the window. I do not have to have a header here. We're at the outside wall of a gable, so it's not load bearing, so we do not have to have that header. So here I'm getting set up to put the header in place that's going to go right over this opening, and everything down underneath that obviously is going to be cut out. We're going to have a nice flow from the dining room into this kitchen. So I'm just working out everything here on the top plate, getting that in position. Get my other wall tied in, make sure everything is nice and square. And then the double top plate, I'm getting ready to put that on right now. I was not able to do that until I have my header and everything in place. So once that's in, that locks us into the house inside wall as well as the outside corner. That makes this nice and strong. If you're not familiar with framing, always make sure that you overlap or have a joint different from your top plate to your double top plate so that you get a nice solid connection. So we squared everything up. We're going through and putting up the ceiling joists at this point in time and getting everything ready to go for that. Those go up quite quickly. And now we're getting ready for the ply rafters to be installed. Just threw a couple of sheets of plywood up there and got my rat run down the center, which tied all of the center of my ceiling joists together and kept them on 16 inches. That way when we go to hang drywall, we're going to be in good shape there. So I'm just getting everything prepped up for the rafters at this point. And I went ahead and got my ridge, part of my ridge beam up there, getting it tied into the existing house and getting that laid out and level. And then I wanted to go ahead and get me one rafter pattern set up, so I was getting that lined out. In the meantime, I slipped down here on the side and want to go ahead and get my side sheeting installed. You can see I already had a few sheets up there from the night before, just to kind of hold everything getting solid. I know we got bracing on it all over, but putting sheeting up by yourself is quite tricky, especially when you're trying to hold it and square it up and then nail it. So got that done. Got everything tidied up, and now I've got to work on my flashing here between the shed roof and the new addition. So I put me a vapor barrier behind there and cut a piece of sheeting there. Actually, I had to cut that one twice. It just got a little bit too tight in order for me to get that worked in. So got that done, and then got set up here to get ready to run all of the rafters. Just getting everything laid out. Got my dad up there helping me, making sure that I'm doing everything correctly. And so getting all the rafters laid out. We got those cut down there on the sawhorses. Just getting them up and in place. And then we're going to slide everything out and get our other section of ridge installed. Getting all that plumbed up. And that's going to allow us to go ahead and get the rest of the rafters in place, as you can see here. And it went pretty quick. And then we slide over and start sheeting off the roof. We're only able to get one side of the roof sheeted off before it got too dark on us. So just knocking out the last couple of sheets here. And then this is the following day. We're getting our nose board and everything up there. The rafter tail's cut off, and going ahead and start putting up the sheathing on this side as well. Got all that squared away. Now we're going to close in the gable so that that can be sheeted off the following afternoon. Starting to get dark on us again. Alright, here's the following afternoon. I'll go ahead and get that gable sheeted off. Get all that closed in. And then starts getting dark. Again, I'm just doing this in the evenings here, so it takes a little bit of time. I want to go ahead and cut out my window and get my Lowe's wrap installed. So I'm getting that finished up. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the roof dried in. So I'm getting my tar paper put up there, and this is prior to the whole house getting roofed, but I need to get that dried in. And then we slide around the back, and I'll go ahead and get the new window installed, and that's going to be right over the kitchen sink. So I get that installed, everything sealed up good, and then we are working on the side door. Got that set. And then our last piece for now is opening up into the existing house. So going ahead and getting that old door out of the way, and then taking the drywall and those studs down to finally open up that space to see exactly what we got. Alright, that's going to conclude this video on part 2 of the kitchen renovation project. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share the video, and stick around. There's more coming up.